This is probably not going to get a lot of views, but I'm doing this video because I do have an important message to my American subscribers. Every single year, I notice that the mainstream media is going to release the same type of articles during this time period, and they're going to decry Thanksgiving as being an evil holiday, something that is fundamentally rooted in racismus, and it's very evil. And then you're going to have different types of articles encouraging people to argue with their families, to argue with that racist uncle, to destroy the family gathering. Anita Sarkeesian suggested that if anyone says something offensive at the table, you should flip the wine glass, completely ruining the meal that probably your mother has spent a lot of time trying to prepare. And this is very demoralizing, especially for young Americans. And I believe that I should make the arguments why Thanksgiving is actually an amazing thing, and I wish we had it here in Romania and in the rest of Europe, because a holiday where you get to spend more time with family can be more beneficial. Now, the first argument that Thanksgiving is rooted in racismus. Thanksgiving was created by Abraham Lincoln at the peak of the Civil War, and it was a holiday with the purpose of uniting Americans. He tried finding common ground. He tried finding a holiday that would bring people together, because the United States, unlike many other nations, is indeed a social experiment. When it was created, you had cultures from different places in Europe. You had people from Germany, people from Italy, people from France, people from England, gathering together into this melting pot and creating the American culture. And while in Europe you had world wars, and you had some of the most destructive wars that mankind has seen, the Americans later on, after the Civil War, would manage to band together, put aside their differences, and form a very powerful state, one of the most powerful nations that exist in the world. And in order to do so, the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, like, okay, you're German, you're Italian, but now you're American, and you're going to pledge allegiance to the nation, was very important as a concept. And the phrase "under God" was added specifically during the Cold War to fight off against communism, which was an ideology that was trying to divide America, both by class, race, and gender. At the time, it tried to do so unsuccessfully. And Thanksgiving is the holiday which also brings people together. It doesn't matter if you came from England, if you're from Africa, no, you're American now, and you're going to try to put aside your differences for the better of everyone and try to make a better nation. Throughout human history, division is what tyrants like to support. In fact, division is what is being pushed in American prisons. If you go in a California prison where you have inmates of different gangs and different affiliation, different races as well, the prison guards encourage that behavior. They encourage the difference. They will not try to create a special day where the prisoners get together and they are reminded that they are the prisoners and there are guards over them. No, that doesn't happen. Why? Because the guards, they're being outnumbered by the prisoners, so they try to foster this division. They try to foster these differences in order to better rule over them. So you need to remind yourself this whenever you see someone trying to spark division. Who has to gain? Like, who are the people that are gaining from trying to destroy Thanksgiving, from trying to destroy the concept of the Pledge of Allegiance? Like, who benefits from this struggle? Who benefits from this fight? Now, moving on to the more important aspect, that of family. Because the ways things are moving in the present, there is more and more responsibility thrusted on the state. So people shouldn't expect their families to take care of them like they used to in the past. Now you should expect that the government will take care of you. So if you get sick, the government takes care of you. If you get old, the government takes care of you. If someone breaks into your house, the government will help you out. But in reality, the government is a cold, heartless institution that does not know who you are and does not care. Meanwhile, your family members do know who you are, and while every family does have its own problems, they do care. And believe it or not, you will care as well. For those of you who follow my channel, you probably know that in the last 2 to 3 years, I have lost many family members, including my grandmother and most importantly, my mother. I lost my uncle and my godparents, and it happened in a very short amount of time, was a little bit traumatic for me, but I managed to move on. And my point is not that I'm trying to fish for sympathy here. My point is that these memories that you spend with your family are going to be very important, because one day we will all see our family members pass away. Obviously not the new generation, but the old generation that we grew up with. Due to natural causes, they will pass away. And when that happens, I want you to believe me that the memories that you have with them are going to remain. And these memories, you can form them now. And instead of going at the family dinner and talking about politics and arguing with them, try to find subjects that you know doesn't upset anyone. So try to avoid talking about religion, talking about politics, talking about sports, if you know that there are people at the table who do not necessarily share your views and act in a negative manner if you bring these things up. Try and talk about small things, the weather, some movies, like try and find things that make the atmosphere more pleasant, because again, I guarantee to you, when they're not there anymore, you're going to miss them, even if you argued with them when you are growing up. Obviously, there are exceptions. You know, I don't like to say platitudes. I do understand that some families are more dysfunctional than others, and you may have people who are drunk, people who are literally evil, people who are... Okay, but this video is like for the general public. Let's put it like that. So, I don't know how many people will see it. Again, usually when I make wholesome videos, they don't really get shared around, and this is particular for Americans. But hopefully what I said here is going to try and at least help someone. And, you know, if you have a young person, like maybe you're a parent, and you don't get along with your son or your daughter, and you're having this cultural divide, you're having the generation gap happening, and they're being lectured by universities on why they should hate Thanksgiving, try and remind them why Thanksgiving exists. And also, you know, state that, well, one day you're not going to be there, and they're going to regret wasting the opportunity of spending more time with their family. Because trust me, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, people who aren't in the United States, people who are in Europe, they look at this celebration with envy. I wish we would have had the Thanksgiving here. I wish we would have had a reason to not go to work and spend one day with our family, where it's not like Christmas and you have to buy gifts, and it's all of this Christmas hassle that kind of takes you out of the mood, you know, like doing the Christmas shopping, doing the Christmas food, like all of this is very nerve-inducing, because everything has to be perfect and you're worried about that. With Thanksgiving, you just have to make that turkey, which, by the way, I never had the pleasure of eating one. Not the way the Americans cook it, right? Like the idea that you stuff it and you put it in the oven and it's the whole turkey. We don't have that here, although maybe one day I will try. Anyway, right, let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.